Okay, something I want to get off my chest while I'm waiting for this Pot Noodle to do its. By the way, if the video's a little bit jerky on this one, I'm recording a little bit later than I usually do today. I don't know if you can see that. It's getting a bit dark outside. That's a feature of this time of year, isn't it? It's only 4 in the afternoon and it's already getting dark. How depressing. People going to work in the dark, coming home in the dark, or people sat on their arse all day in the dark because it's a day off work in my case. I also should apologise for waving this fork around. I usually use a pen, but as I am waiting for this Bombay bad boy Pot Noodle to soften up, I don't know whether I kind of question all these things now. It's a Bombay bad boy. I don't know if that's it's probably a sign of the patriarchy because it only mentions boys and it's not a Bombay bad girl. Although if it was a Bombay bad girl, maybe that would be a sign of the patriarchy because it would be suggesting that all girls are bad or some shit like that. I don't know. You can make up this crap, but that's irrelevant to this. Really, that's one of the worst asides I think I've ever gone on. And my Pot Noodle will be ready soon, so let's try and get back on track. I just wanted to talk about the way different things are handled. I just wanted to give you an example really because I've gone and done it again and gone over to Freethought blogs, got involved in a couple of discussions there, got roasted alive as always tends to happen over there, not on the grounds generally of what I've said but on the grounds that I don't agree with them, so therefore I must be some kind of evil bastard, and so it generally develops a rather personal slant. I wanted to contrast that with a video that I put out the other day, Rebecca Watson's Skeptic on Dismissal of Science. PZ Myers said not too long ago that he regarded YouTube as the worst of the worst, as the worst format for debate that you can have. I just wanted to contrast something. If you look on the video that I put out that I just mentioned there, how many comments have there been? 642 comments. A significant number of comments were by Sofiarune, who has some expertise, and her comments were very welcome on this particular topic. But I would ask you to consider the treatment that Sophia got. She's against evolutionary psychology, quite firmly committed, wedded against evolutionary psychology. She made that known on there and she said why. And by and large, she's managed to get her points across. And it's not got too personal. Some people have took exception to some things that she's said. She's took exception to some things that other people have said. But by and large, a discussion has been able to take place. Hannibal the Victor has now started commenting on this. This is somebody we've discussed in PMs, me and Hannibal before, on this subject, reached some kind of consensus on some of these issues, as I have, I think, with Sophia. And in both cases, I think we've all walked away with something to think about, as well as a chance to get a point across. But again, he's made his points on there. He's fallen out with one guy called Lucid Fallacies, I think, or something along those lines. Lucid Fallacies, yeah, but that's been the exception to the rule on there. I'd actually like to contrast that with the treatment that happens over, not on all of Freethought blogs. I got into trouble with Non-Stamp Collector only yesterday for generalising and putting them all together, which was a wrong thing to do. There are some blogs that are totally different to the blogs that I'm criticising here, the likes of PZ Myers, Ophelia Benson, Stephanie Zvan, those kinds of people. But you just contrast the treatment. I'll give you an example in the links. A Blogspot example, so it's on Blogspot, I've put it down there, the interaction I had with Stephanie Zvan. Didn't last very long before she was telling me, do you know what, you've got one more comment, and then that's it, I'm not going to allow you to comment anymore. She didn't actually even allow me to get that comment out, she just blocked that comment, never allowed it through moderation, which is why I put it on that Blogspot thing. But just imagine if I went on Freethought blogs and I tried to give my perspective on Evo Psych in the same way as Sofiarune has done here over on one of PZ's blog articles or on one of Stephanie's blog articles. could I engage in the same kind of discussion as Sophia has been able to here? I don't need to ask you that question, I'll just tell you the answer. There's not a chance in hell. And it wouldn't have been on the basis of what I've said, it would be on the basis that I'm either a rapist and a woman hater, and that's why I'm making these arguments, or a racist, or a genocidal, homicidal maniac that just wants to wipe out the whole human race, or something along those lines. This would be, so either I want to do these things, or I want to justify allowing other people to be able to do these things. This is something that's evidenced. Something that we're talking about with EvoPsych is how you evidence, and the intractability of often evidencing why questions, but the possibility, theoretical sometimes and not practical, ethically practical, of evidencing the what questions. But one thing I certainly can evidence is that the treatment that you get meted out over on Freethought blogs, on the blogs that I'm talking about there, bears no relation to PZ's retarded comment that YouTube is somehow so much spectacularly worse than his own backyard is. I'll try and evidence that. You can view the Sofiarune's interactions on the video I'm talking about there, and you can view the blogspot, which will give you an idea. You could also view PZ's latest blog, saying that everybody who disagrees with his feminist perspective on Freethought blogs is akin to this woman killer, apart from the fact that out of shame and fear, that's the only thing that stops people like myself going out and actually killing women, apparently. But I think he's kind of lost the plot somewhere along the lines. So I'll give you a few links. It's a bit of light-hearted reading, and a little bit of evidence there that perhaps, you know, the balance that PZ sees, I don't know how anybody other than PZ could see it. Anyway, look, listen, I've talked for long enough, and the reason I've talked for long enough isn't because I've managed to get my points across, really. It's because my Pot Noodle is now ready for eating. Okay, so thank you for watching, and bye for now. Shit, I just realised that it was such an aside, all of that I actually forgot the point of the video, which was to explain why I actually bother. If it's so crap, why do I bother making a response there in the first place? If I know it won't even be entertained, it'll just be dismissed on ad hominem ground after ad hominem ground. The reason is because I simply cannot resist. If I see somebody say something which I think is materially wrong, either a misrepresentation of the facts, a misrepresentation of me, a misrepresentation of a group to which I belong, or a misrepresentation of a group to which they think I belong, even if perhaps I don't, I really can't hold back, especially if then I see 100 people chirruping back about just how correct they are in saying what they've said. I find it really, even if I know that my comment is not going to be entertained, and not necessarily agreed with, but even entertained, I still feel that I have to say something. Maybe that's my character flaw, maybe that's my failing, or maybe I'm just taking PZ at his word and thinking, well, this is supposed to be so much better an environment to have a discussion than YouTube, and I have such fantastic discussions on YouTube with people that I disagree with, that maybe this time, maybe just this time, it will actually work out on Freethought blogs, and I'll actually manage to have a half decent discussion with somebody. Hasn't happened so far. Okay, this really is the end. Thank you for, not the end of the world, but just the end of this video, so don't panic. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.